So I was whining to my wife the other day, said, I need new glasses. And she said, well, get some. I couldn't tighten them anymore. They were scratched. You know the thing, right? But I didn't want to go through the process because you have to make the appointment. You have to spend weeks to get them done. And you got to pay a fortune, right? That's real. But I did. I spent $500 on frames and glasses, and that was cheap. And then I ordered a pair from my sponsor, Zenni Optical, for $70. Zenni is an online eyewear shop. Prescription glasses, sunglasses, blue light lenses, starting at under $30. You go to Zenni.com, you pick a frame, upload your prescription, and they ship it to your door. No appointment, no store, no upsell at the counter. And by the way, if you are saying, do I really need new glasses, or do I have to put up with one pair to do everything I need to do for the next 2 years? No! You can get what you want starting at under $30. And if you've never bought glasses online, don't worry about it. I haven't either. Zenni has a virtual try-on so you can see exactly how the frame looks before you commit to buying them, with no salesman looking at you saying, those look good, but these expensive ones would look better. No, you don't get that. I'm excited. I can't wait to get my Zenni glasses and tell you more about them. If your glasses are overdue for a refresh, now's the time. Go to Zenni.com/podcast and use the code podcast15 for 15% off your first order. The styles sell out, so don't sit on it. That's Zenni.com/podcast. Promo code podcast15. You might have heard that live shopping is exploding, and I have to tell you, I have been on Whatnot for a couple of weeks now, and I see why it is. Now, Whatnot is my sponsor, and they are the reason I got on the platform and checked it out. I'm glad they did. They made it easy for me. I'm going to make it easy for you. I love it. Whatnot is where you get great products without paying full price. It's that simple. I'm hooked on their live shows, too. You got to see them. They're so much fun. And I see why Whatnot has climbed to the top of the App Store. And listen, if you're selling online, or maybe you have a storefront and you're hoping people will find your listing or maybe walk in your store, Whatnot flips that, because on Whatnot, you go live and you sell directly to people in real time. And I may admit, although you didn't hear from me, I may have picked up a couple of power tools or so in the past couple of days. I'm just saying. Whatnot, it's the largest dedicated live shopping platform with beauty, collectibles, electronics, luxury, fashion, even cookies, and anyone can sell. In fact, people who sell on Whatnot sell 10 times as much as any other major marketplace. That's because you're not just listing products, you're building real connections with buyers. So whether you're shopping or you're selling, download the Whatnot app today and get free shipping on your first order. Just search WHATNOT, Whatnot, in the App Store and start scoring amazing deals. How are you? Happy Friday. Wait a second, Scott, you sound extra raspy today. Is it good? And is that a snivel? Yeah, maybe. Are these tears coming out of your eyes, or you just got wet eyes?
I need a boost. I need a daily boost. I need a boost. I need a daily boost.
It is the Daily Boost. How you doing? All right. My name is Scott Smith. Thanks for stopping by, and happy Friday to you. And man, I'm glad it's the weekend. Listen, we're going to talk about reinvention today, and AI and stuff like that, and just have a kind of a conversation like that. And I have a question that I'm going to give you here in just a little bit that's going to help you reinvent your life a little bit. Very simple way of thinking. But man, today is going to be hard. In the 20 years I've done this show, the 5,300 episodes, of all that time, there's only been a handful of days that I can say I don't like doing the Daily Boost. And that's when I get this sniffle. You know, you get up in the morning and it's like, what's that feeling that's going? What is that in your voice? What is that? What's that scratch down there? That's kind of weird. And the next day it's like, oh, I know what it is. That's right. It's a cold. Why is it in our entire life that these things happen and we're like, what is that? I wonder if I'm coming down with something. And you don't really know. I mean, how many times have we come down with things and yet still we don't really know? And then we know. And then you realize you have to do a podcast and you have to talk. So I'll do the best I can today. Normally, when I used to do radio years ago, we wouldn't do this to you. We just not do it. But I know something. If I don't do a podcast, you're going to send me like 50 emails saying, you okay? And I appreciate you doing that. So I'm just going to give you some slop, and that way you'll at least know I'm okay? But good stuff today. Some good thoughts, too, as well. I'm not going to stop and edit unless I absolutely start coughing and blow my head off here. Otherwise, I'll just push the cough button and keep on going today to demonstrate to you how that can actually be done. But you know, when I started this program, way back in 2000, I started a podcast in 2004. Long time ago. We were literally a podcast dinosaur, and one of the first 1,000 podcasts out there. This show was an original show and is still here today. So it's been a long time. But when I started, it was actually a reinvention for me. Not a total reinvention, because I don't believe in total reinvention. A lot of people come to me and they say, Scott, I want to reinvent my life. I said, well, what do you want to do? I just want to change everything. I'm done. Something brand new. I said, no, you don't. Maybe change I don't know, 20% of it. We don't need to change everything, because you got experience, you got wisdom. A lot of your life, you've loved doing the things you've been doing. And just because something changes or you get tired with it or your job shifts or something like that, you don't want to flip it all upside down and start brand new. You don't. You just kind of want to have the knowledge that you've earned and put it in a situation where you're actually happy again. So I see reinvention. I'm talking a very small part of reinvention. Now, in my case, if you think about what I'm doing, this is kind of what I'd done my whole life. I started in radio as a disc jockey and got into production work and film and TV and all that stuff. So I had that whole kind of media background before media was something everybody could do. I had all that. So when I shifted into this world, it was a reinvention of what I did. I changed my business model, but I pretty much was still being Scott, and I changed my content. I just changed what I talked about, and that was my goal at the time. I said, I don't want to talk about how to sell cars or how to sell furniture and commercials and things like that. I want to talk about how to help people. So it was a small reinvention, and yet look what happened. It's gone on for years and years and years. And we're at a time right now, I don't know if you've noticed this or how much you're keeping up with this, but we are in a time of massive reinvention. I don't know if you're studying the AI thing at all. I do. I'm very, very heavily into it at an industry level. I'm invested in a lot of it. I'm out there. I'm kind of watching this thing, right? I study it, and I'm trying to read the tea leaves. And I have an online business. And because I have an online business, and I talk to a lot of people who have businesses online and otherwise, we see some stuff happening out there. And it's really weird. It's really interesting. But I can tell you this, what is coming is going to require some reinvention of yourself. It's going to require rethinking. And let me dig a little deeper here, if I may. Our audience is fairly broad. I think we pick up people, we have people in their probably mid-20s. I think a 24, 25 is where they kind of pick up into this kind of stuff. Heavy around 40. And I think we start to peak out somewhere in your mid-60s. The core group of people that I'm working with typically is going to be probably 35 to 55, somewhere in there, and then it kind of goes out a little bit either side of that. So here's what's happening. If you're in that middle ground area, if you're in that, maybe 45 or 50, and all this AI stuff is happening, you are got to be losing some sleep. Everybody is, because we just don't know what's happening, and it's hitting you guys particularly hard. It's not fair. What's happening is all this automation stuff is coming our way is actually kind of landing on the mid-career people, and how unfair is that? Your master plan of all the things you were going to do, all the savings you would have, the stock market's treated you very well if you've been invested. At the same time, you're not quite there yet, are you? And you're not quite done. You haven't made your mark yet. You haven't hit that plan yet. You haven't made the impact yet. And now everything's shifting out from under you. It's a strange feeling. Well, here's the good news. You're not alone. There's 8 billion people on this planet in the same spot that you are. And that's the only thing I think makes us fair. We all have to go through it. That's like some kid said, man, old man, what's it like to get old? I said, you'll find out. That's what makes life fair. We all got to do it. So there's an age of reinvention happening now like we've not seen before. And I'm living it because I have so many clients I talk to all the time. And certainly in my business, I've never seen it more difficult to do my job. Just to have the opportunity to get in front of you, the opportunity to help you and to do what I've done for 20 years now. I've never found it more difficult to be able to get out there and just get your attention and then you have the chance and the opportunity to work with you. You're probably feeling the same thing. So we have to reinvent. And how do we start reinventing? How do we do that? Well, the first thing is to just admit it. Just accept it. Come to terms with it. But something is going to have to change. Whether you like it or not, it's going to change. You may have no control over it, or maybe you have massive control. If I were you, I would take control now. But the very first step in reinventing yourself, no matter what it is, whether it's a career or just or your body, you want to lose weight and get in shape, whatever it is, the very first step is simply accepting that I'm going to have to change. And that is scary. It's even scarier when, if you don't do something, it's going to happen anyway. And it is going to happen, and probably when you least expect it. So how do we do that?
Heat up your 4th of July at the Home Depot with our wide variety of grills under $300 and make every gathering one to remember. Give your outdoor space a glow up, whatever your budget is, with savings on seasonal plants starting at $5. With the grill fired up and your backyard set to perfection, you'll be able to invite friends and family over to kick off the party. Start celebrating with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Prices may vary by store. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Especially, how do we do that? We have no idea what's going on. We have no idea what kind of plan we may or may not need. We can't read the tea leaves, can we? We can't get out there and just, you don't know. The only thing that makes us fair right now is nobody knows. I really mean that. Nobody knows what's happening. I don't think anybody knows. I think people are just guessing right now. And if you can just know a little bit more than that guy over there, you're doing all right. So I've made a lot of decisions in my life that have worked out fairly well. And one of the things I talked about years ago, I started this maybe 10 years ago now. I don't remember when I started this phrase. I started doing a personal operation reinvention. I've done it for businesses. I've run, a lot of my clients run through it. If I'm on a inner circle call and I just mention the term operation reinvention, there is somebody on that call who, when I come back next week, they will say, yeah, I'm doing an operation reinvention on myself right now. Well, when I did it many times, I find that I don't have a plan. Now, I know that you may say, well, Scott, aren't you supposed to have a plan? Don't move forward without your plan. And I know also the thing that may be stopping you get what you want right now is you don't exactly know the way. One thing that's very, very, very common these days is we're so afraid and we're so overloaded with information that we can't seem to move forward. We don't know what path to take. So what do? Well, we stay put and we don't take a path at all. That happens a ton. And it's always happened, but it's more now than ever before. So how do we move forward without a plan? Well, I've kind of figured out something in life. I figured out that pretty much 99% of my life, I'm moving forward without a plan anyway. I mean, it's a basic plan. I get out of bed, I go that direction. I'm going to go to the gym, going to do a couple things, right? Whatever it's going to be. But pretty much most of my day is unplanned. Just kind of, I look at my calendar. I have one or two things on my calendar today, and most days I have nothing on my calendar because I prefer it that way. You say, Scott, how do you have nothing on your calendar most days? I'm in charge of my calendar. I could do that if I want to. There you go. But most of the day, most of us are just winging it without a plan anyway. So why do we get so upset and not move forward when we don't have a plan? I don't know if it's winging it, but sometimes you have no idea what kind of plan you even need. Have you been there before? I work with a lot of people. They come to me and they say, Scott, will you just tell me how to do it? And I said, well, maybe, but what are we talking about here? Do you even know what kind of plan you need? Well, no, that's why I'm talking to you. So, okay, well, let's go figure it out. It's a mindset. It's a mindset. Accepting the fact that maybe change has to come, operation reinvention may have to happen, and whether you're scared or excited about it, I don't know what it is, and you may have an idea what you want to do, maybe not. A lot of the jobs that are out there right now, they were just telling us a couple years ago, become a coder, right? Hello, Claude. We just don't know. So the mindset is this. So this is my mindset. This is what I use when I want to do an operation reinvention. When I want to change and put myself in a better place, this is a single question that I will ask myself. It's actually written down. I don't use a lot of Post-it notes and things like that, but I have one, and I have this on it today, which is really hard because I have terrible handwriting. What single change can I make that would automatically and positively disrupt everything in my life and put me in a better place? I started doing that years ago. I was focused on one single change. What thing can I just change today? Think about that for a second. What change could you do today that will move you away from where you don't want to be into a better place? Most people have an idea really quickly when I ask that question. And it happens automatically. I'm not saying, hey, what single change and then let me get to work on it. No. Change is instantaneous and automatic. You've done it 1,000 times. You could be just rock solid in your beliefs about something, and automatically something happens and you just change. But how can we ask a question that will allow us to make a single change that will automatically and positively disrupt everything? I put positive in there because most people, when we start going through a question like this, you immediately go to the negative. Well, if I do this, then that's going to happen. What's going to happen with my job and how I'm going to pay the bills and all that kind of stuff, right? And will it put me in a better place? Better than what I am right now. And that's kind of the bar, by the way. I think a lot of people go to the extreme. They want to change it, like and make it epic or something. And ultimately, you can make your life epic with a very small change. Sometimes removing a little bit of a friction from your life makes it epic. So what single change can I make, a change that would automatically and positively disrupt everything in my life and put me in a better place? Many times I follow that with, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's not going to be that. And the joke I've told many, many times over the years is when I talk to women who got a divorce. And many times I'll end up working with them. They'll call me and say they want to chat through things. And I'll say, what do you want in a man? And I'll say, well, I'll tell you what I don't want. And some people say that's negative. But Scott, you're focusing on that. And I agree with that as well. That's why my question is, I don't know what it's going to be, but it's not going to be that. And I'm just moving away. Now, as soon as I say that, I just know what that looks like. And flying, that would be like a sight picture. Sight picture is when you're landing an airplane and you look down at the runway and you just know what to do with it. You recognize what it looks like. You have sight pictures in everything you do. When you drive a car, there's all kinds of things you do when you just know what it looks like when it's right, and you know what it looks like when it's wrong. I don't know what it's going to be, but I know what it looks like when it's wrong. And when I see that, I'm not doing it again. You ladies that got a divorce and you meet a new guy, remember that line right there. You know what it looks like when it's wrong, right? So go, leave, cross the room. I don't know exactly how I'm going to get there. I don't know how or when I'm going to get there. Sometimes I don't even know what there is. But I know I'll recognize it when I see it. And lots of times I'll get into the explore the possibilities thing. Let me ask you a question. If you want to move away, if you want to reinvent your life and do something different, if you want to do that, do you really know what it's supposed to be? Do you really know it inside and out? I mean, because I will say, let me answer the question. No, you don't. Why? Because you've never done it before. You've read about it. You've watched videos about it. You've thought about it. You've dreamed of it, but you've never done it. So do you really know what it's going to be? So am I too far off base here? Actually, not at all. I'm simply saying, well, I don't like what I got now. So if there's a change I can make that will automatically make my life better, is there one thing I could do that would do that? Even if I don't know exactly how, I just kind of follow it and just go that direction. Goals are cool. You should use them. Sometimes, though, you just kind of have to follow your gut. Go with the flow and figure things out. I'm going to say right now, I know this is a personal development, personal growth show. Scott, you're supposed to have goals, follow your goals, have the discipline, all that stuff, right? I cannot tell you how many coaches I know that preach that, and their life is falling apart. They're saying everything. My life's falling apart anyway, most of the time. I like it that way. Every day, my job is to get up and keep putting it back together. These people who say, you got to do this, you got to do that, there are certain things you got to do for sure. Basically, breathing, drink water, and occasionally eat food. Beyond that, you don't have to do anything. Those people who say that are falling apart. Why? They just think they know where they're going. But here's the cool part about this. When you ask that one question, when you begin to think, hey, if there's a single change I can make that would just make my life better and do it automatically without me having to do anything, when we break it down to that level of simplicity, you tend to breathe a little bit. Ideas start to pop into your head. And almost magically, you start to find that path. And even more so, sometimes I think that feeling of, I don't know what it is, but I'm just being called to go that direction. I think that's spiritual when that happens. Are you listening to that? So let's not overcomplicate this thing. If it feels like you got to make a change, what simple change can I make? The single thing I can do. Can you believe I got this through thing? I did not even cough one time. I haven't sniffed or snorted yet. The change I can make is go get some. Yeah, I'm getting some meds today. I am. Yeah. We'll see what happens Monday. Hopefully I'll be good Monday. Anyway, have a great weekend.